this experiment, we will discuss the importance of scientific honesty, integrity, and how to write in a manner that gives credit to those individuals whose idea you're drawing from in your work.
So in this experiment, we are going to explore our understanding of our course policies regarding academic offenses and some of the university's policies as well. You're going to be able to identify sources that contain plagiarized material. We're going to ask you to write citations using MLA style for both in-text citations and your works cited page. We want you to understand and practice scientific writing, as well as paraphrase scientific context and use in-text citations from multiple scientific literature sources.
University classes follow rules that are outlined in the University Senate rules. While the full document can be a bit tedious to read, one of the most commonly cited rules out of that document is those on academic offenses. This is because it's one of the rules that is most frequently violated by students. Every class you will take at UK has you submit work demonstrating your understanding of course materials. Often this work asks you to draw upon a work of others, interpret it, apply it, and relate it to the work that you're studying in that class. The work that you create, whether it's a video, a lab report, or an answer to the exam, is to be your own work. As scientists, we study what other people do and build upon it. When we build upon others' work, we have to give them credit for the work that they did. Any borrowing of those ideas, the organization or the wording of the content of it needs to be cited because without appropriate acknowledgement of the fact, that's considered plagiarism. I should also add as well that many instructors have policies regarding whether or not you can submit your work that you produced in another course, or if you're retaking the class, resubmit that work again in a different semester. You need to check up on those policies and ask questions about them if that's something that you want to consider doing. You've got to read through the course syllabus and understand those policies. And if you're not sure, you really need to ask your instructor in advance to see if what you're thinking about doing would violate one of those course policies. So the question then is, how do you go about submitting the work that you're writing that is your own and draw upon work that's been done before and build upon the work of others? How do you do that and not cross any lines that gets you into any kind of trouble and get accused of an academic offense? That's what we're going to be looking at in this experiment.
Integrity is such a small word with some big implications. If we start with the basic definition, the Oxford Dictionary defines integrity as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Those can be personal, professional, or artistic in nature. For a scientist, integrity focuses on being honest. That honesty would be in reporting data that doesn't fit your expectation, or a hypothesis, or giving credit for an idea to the person who had it, and simply admitting your mistakes. For you as a student, it is frequently means being honest, doing your own work, choosing your thoughts and actions based on values rather than personal gain. This often ends up with you having to do something that's hard because it's the right thing to do and not because it's easy. In the academic setting, we see choices involving your integrity every time you submit graded work. You have a choice to make. You can take an easy route, like using another student's report, an internet source that shows all the answers, or asking websites like Chegg for help. Or you can do the right thing, buckle down, read, study, and submit work that you feel is the best that you can do. The university has many policies regarding integrity, as do many employers and professional societies. We remind you of many of these policies in the course syllabus and the forms that we asked you to sign. But really, it's integrity that forms the basis of these policies and looking at what outcomes that will occur when temptation leads you to a breach of your integrity. It's your integrity that shows the content of your character and not a grade on a paper. In this experiment, we're going to look at how to avoid an integrity breach and have a strong foundation of academic honesty. I want to be clear with you about what the rules are and what qualifies as cheating, academic offenses, and the expectations that I have for the work that you submit for this course. Foremost is that you may not use any resources other than your personal knowledge for an exam, period. For other submitted work, you must cite the sources that you use, and we'll spend the remaining of this experiment discussing how to do just that. Let's look at an example of an article from the Journal of Chemical Education entitled Mock Chemical Safety Sort to Engage with Storage and Inventory by Susan Weindinger. Take a moment and skim through it. How many papers did the authors cite in this first paragraph? Within this first paragraph of her article, she cites 4 different documents, and one of them got cited twice. A quick skim of the author's reference list covering the citations in the first paragraph reveals a couple of things. Most obviously to you, the citations are not presented in MLA style. The Journal of Chemical Education uses our professional society's citation formatting style, the ACS style, found in the ACS style guide. Hopefully you also noticed that those 4 documents that got cited in that first paragraph sound rather sizable. And the author was able to reduce the content down to an average of about 2 sentences each. The author did this by summarizing the work. You will need to build up your skills at paraphrasing and summarizing information throughout your college career and on into your career path. In this course, you are expected to paraphrase information and give citations for all thoughts that were not your own. Purdue's Online Writing Lab has some great tips on how to effectively paraphrase material. First, you want to make sure you reread the original source until you fully understand the ideas of the sources presenting. You may need to explain those ideas aloud or to a friend to fully grasp what the source is saying. When you understand this information, you will more easily be able to summarize the presented ideas and put them in your own words. Once you have those words, write them down so you don't forget them. Everyone's busy and has multiple ideas running through their heads. When you come up with an idea on how to express your work and the work of others, write it down. This will help you reduce the temptation to copy directly from others' work. Don't forget, make a notation of how you'd like to use the work in your report. Is it related to the overarching topic? Then your note should indicate that it goes at the top of your paper. Is it a more detailed point about how a reaction occurred and should go later in your introduction? Make a note of that too. And don't forget, when you're making these notes to yourself, to include a citation of where you found the material. This way, that information is ready so you know it when you want to incorporate that information into your document. Many different groups and professional societies have different ways they want to see citations written. I learned Modern Languages Association, or MLA style, in high school, repeatedly being told that that's what I'd use in college. In college, I learned at least 3 more styles, including ACS style, the method used to publish in journals by the American Chemical Society, which is the professional society used by chemists. APA style, used by the American Psychological Association and frequently used in scholarly publications. And Chicago style, a writing style used by journalists when writing for print media. I learned this style as part of my minor in communication with my heavy interest in writing and print media. So, as you might expect, I readily kind of blend those 4 different writing styles together. So, please don't worry, you don't have to learn all of them for this course. Most likely, you'll learn a lot of other ones besides these on your academic journey. But for this course, we do expect you to use MLA style when writing citations. Most citations have the same general format. They will include the author or author's last name or names, either their first name or their initials. They also include the title of the journal the article was published in, the volume number, issue number, year, and frequently page numbers. MLA style also includes the title of the article within the citation. There are many things to keep in mind when you're writing a citation. First is that formatting is important. Quotation marks, italics, periods, parentheses, colons all indicate something about the information in the citation. Secondly, you need to distinguish whether you access the article online or in print, because sometimes there are differences between the two. And thirdly, that I will mention here, watch out for scientific journal articles that are published as ASAP, as soon as publishable. Those articles have not appeared in the journal yet, But the editors thought the information was important enough to get out there to scientists that they made the article available early. These articles do not yet have volume numbers or issue numbers, years, or page numbers associated with them when they're published. That's because, in most simplest of terms, the articles haven't yet been formally published. How these articles are cited is very different from how you are used to and really are not suitable for the work that you're going to be doing in this experiment. With the 8th edition of the MLA Style Guide, they have tried to simplify the formatting down a bit and focus on the information needed for others to find your source. Notice how it still contains a lot of basic information, the author's names, the title of the course, title of what MLA editors are calling a container. We'll be thinking about it as being like a journal's name or the name of a website. They also have other contributors. Those are people who are typically take the form of editors. They still ask for the version number, whether that's a volume, issue number, or both. Publishers' names, publication dates, and location or website address. The eighth edition also emphasizes the need to spell out everything and not abbreviate anything as much as they used to. And the more information that you include, the more helpful it is. Remember, if you have any questions, please ask them on the Courts Piazza site, reach out to your TA or myself via email or office hours to ask.